May 1987 day, cup final, and your honours exam at university. Tell us about your memories of that day.
Well, I think the university were very good that day. They opened up early at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they let me sit the exam. I think I started about 8:30 and finished at 11. It was an economic history exam. I remember Charlie Munn was the professor, and I sat in the room by myself, and I think I managed to pass it, which was quite good. And then at 11 o'clock I left the university, got a lift through to the old Excelsior at Glasgow Airport, and I arrived there about 12 o'clock, and they already had the team talk. Now, they already had the team talk, so they seen that they were all wandering out, so obviously I thought I wasn't involved. And then the manager, Alex Smith at the time, passed me by and said, "It's okay, you're on the bench." I said, "That's great."
So then you're on the bench halfway through the game. I suppose that's when you were introduced as a substitute. How was the game going at that point?
Well, the game was a typical cup final. It was a torturous game. It wasn't a very exciting game at all. And I think Dundee United had scored a goal early on, and it was a valid goal, unfortunately, and it was chalked off, which was a bit unfair in them. But I think after that, I think you could see that we thought it was destiny for us. And then there was a through ball to Ian Ferguson, goes through with his left foot, which is very unusual for Ian Ferguson, and he scored a great goal, and that was it.
In terms of that year, where were St Mirren due to finish in the cup? What was the expectations in the team that year?
The expectations were very low, but I mean, one of my previous managers, John Lambie, did us a huge favour that year, because that was the year that they put Rangers out at Ibrox. Hamilton put them out 1-0, and that got rid of one of them. And then, so by the time we got to semi-finals, I think Celtic had been put out, and then we played Hearts.
Cameron's a front player. This is Cameron looking at a cross. There's McGarvey!
Unfortunately for us against Hearts again had quite a few injury problems. John Robertson wasn't quite fit. So I think we did well to get to the cup final, but I think we were destined, at some point to win that cup.
So you're now in charge of the university boys here at Glasgow, which is, I suppose, quite ironic, knowing where you came from that morning when you played in the cup final. What's the expectations on these lads this year? The
expectation is to get through to the next round. I mean, the Scottish Cups are fantastic, and I think the university feel privileged that they're allowed to be in the cup. So I think what I've got to try and do is install them to say, look, you've nothing to lose. We're going down there against a team that theoretically are better than us in terms of the Lowland League. I've seen them a couple of times, and all we're looking to do is try and get into the next round. And I think the excitement for them getting into the next round, and maybe if you do that to try and get a senior club, that'd be icing on the cake for them.